Good morning, chess lovers, wherever you are. We've studied the pawn, the rook, the bishop, the queen. I hope you guys practice these pieces because we need them. We need to know them very well and to play them correctly. We're going to do the knight today. Probably the trickiest, the most unpredictable piece, the most troublesome, especially in the first part of the game. The knight could be a real headache because of its ability to attack more pieces at the same time. So let me exemplify now with our sharing virtual screen. So, okay. Now, first thing first, we've got two white knights, two black knights. White knight is on b1 and g1, g8 and b8. Now, this very special piece is worth 3 points. Let me just put the knight, one of the knights, in the middle of the board, removing the others. So, this knight, guys, uh, any knight in the game of chess has its very own specific way to moving and capturing, apart from the rest of the pieces. Very special character, the knight. So, the easiest way I found in my experience to teaching the knight is just if you imagine a capital L shape. That's how the knight moves. So, to exemplify now, I'm going to count 1, 2 squares vertically, and the third square, I change direction, turn around. So, I mean, 1, 2, 3, and you change direction. You go around the corner. Look at this. Boom. That's an L. Let me just try and right. So probably it's visible now. Now, good stuff is you could go in the other direction. So 1, 2, and you may very well turn towards the left. There you go. You've got another L. Now, let me just do it upwards now. 1, 2, turn. There you go. We've got a reversed L. Perfectly legal in chess. Of course, I may turn to the left again. There you go. We've got another L, right? So that's how it goes. You may also go horizontally, 2 squares in a row, horizontally. 1, 2, turn. Okay? 1, 2, turn. So we're going to be here, or we may go here. All right? And you may go to the left exactly in the same fashion. And that's how you move the knight in L shape. And the knight jumps. You don't need to touch every single square. Just for the purpose of exemplifying, I have stopped, in on every single square, but you don't need to touch and you don't have to. You actually, when you play physically over the board, you get the knight and just put it exactly on the square you want to go to. Don't touch every single square. Okay, that's not allowed in chess. Now, when about to capture, you will not be capturing pieces you jump over because the knight jumps. Okay, but just the piece which is on the square you specifically arrive at, you land on. So let me just add a couple of pieces here. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to get some pieces analysis set up. Yeah, okay, sorry for modifying the layout here. So I'm gonna get now just randomly a couple of pawns here. Okay, you go back, mister. Okay, now some of the pawns that you could see here will be captures. Others will just be jumping over. We don't capture pieces, we jump over. So let's give an example. The knight is here on d5, right? So now I'm going to do my jump. 1, 2, turn. So I'm going to capture only the pawn on e3. Okay, of course, you may go via d, e5, e4, and e3. As long as you arrive at e3, it doesn't matter how you're making the move with the knight, as long as you put the knight on e3. So even if you jump over e5 and e4, you only remove the e3 pawn, not those guys you're jumping over. Now, another target, let me just highlight this e3 pawn. Another target for your knight would be the pawn on e7, all right? Now, you go like 1, 2, turn, okay? Or you just may go this way. It doesn't really matter as long as you move it correctly on e7. And that's the only pawn you'll be capturing, not this guy, not this one, right? Another target would be f6. 1, 2, turn. So you take the f6 pawn, but you do not capture e5 or f5, only f6, okay? Because this is the L. I'm jumping over here. I'm taking that pawn. Let me go back. I jump on e3, remove that pawn. And you will always notice, guys, that the knight starts on a color and necessarily will be landing on a square of the opposite color. So if you are on d5, you will only be getting now to either c3. Look, those squares here, they're all dark squares, okay? And if you go, let's say you're starting on the light square, you will necessarily arrive on dark squares. And if you start on a dark square, you will get on white square. So maybe that's another way easier for you to understand how the knight goes. And look at this knight. It attacks 8 squares at the same time. Terribly strong piece. Okay. Now, the nightmare with the knight, guys, is that it can fork you. So you got to be incredibly careful. Right. Let me just put 2 white pieces here. Now, imagine that if you play this guy correctly, you will be able to attack the rook and the queen simultaneously. All right. Let me just play now. I'll move with the knight. I'm going to do 1, 2, turn. And look at this. Putting the knight here on e6, and suddenly, guys, you could see this very knight attacking the rook and attacking the queen at the same time. And unfortunately for them, they can only save one piece. Probably they will be saving the queen because it's the most powerful, and you don't want to lose the queen. So you'll be giving up on the rook. But imagine the nightmare if they actually had a king. So let me just put the knight on f4 in our position here. And now look at this, the same square. 1, 2, turn. Look at this. I'm getting here. Boom. And now 3 pieces attacked at the same time. So that's a nightmare. This is dreaded by all chess players to getting forked by the knight. Okay, guys. So today you can practice. Let me go to that reset button. So today I would invite you to practice the pawn game, having the pawns, obviously, and the knights. Give it special attention to the knights, okay? This guy really, really jumps. Look at this. They go like this, jumping over their own pawns, jump over the opponent's pawns, and they capture only and only the piece that is on the very square they going to. Okay, moving now on f3. Let's say my opponent plays a mistake and they do e5. Okay, now I can jump with my knight and take the e5 pawn. It's an L shape. Look, zoom, boom, I took it. Okay, let's say now my opponent plays another move. Just give an example. They be playing perhaps c6. By the way, not the best move, but just for the sake of understanding. Now, you may be saying, oh, I got 2 targets. I got this pawn and I got the other pawn. That is true. But if you take the pawn on d7, the black knight will take you back, and that will be a very bad move for you. Whereas if you take on f7, hey, that's absolutely perfectly fine because that pawn is not defended. So always, guys, look for the pieces which are hanging, not defended. Okay, they'll be dropping off. You're going to take them. You just take them. Okay, but don't take pieces that are defended. Right. On the other hand, if you can trade a knight for a knight, it's perfectly natural and benign. Nothing wrong about it. Okay, guys. So thanks very much for your time. Chess is a wonderful game. Practice it. Play with the pieces exactly as we've explained. Introduce the knight today because next time we're going to do the king. And then we're going to have a full chess set and we're going to play properly, hopefully very soon, like real professionals. So practice the knight for today. Okay, guys? Thanks very much. Have a wonderful, miraculous day.